Is the gym bag that I use. Hello, welcome back. A couple weeks ago, one of my friends mentioned that she really enjoys watching like what's in my gym bag videos. So this week I'm going to show you guys everything that I bring with me to the gym or use at the gym. I'm just gonna take you guys through all of the different pieces of equipment that I use. Okay, first, this is the gym bag that I use that stays in my car. It is ginormous. Yes, hold on. Yes, it is huge. But I leave this in my car most of the time and occasionally add things as I need to. But for the most part, all of my daily use gym equipment stays in this so that I don't have to carry this monstrosity up and down my stairs every day. First thing is the shoes. I usually take these, my Birkenstocks, as my transportation shoe. So I will wear these to the gym and from the gym so that I don't have to wear my gym shoes just out and about. It just helps keep them a little bit fresher for longer, so I don't get as much wear and tear. I've got my training shoes. So right now I have these two pairs. They're both from the company Rad Global. These ones are different colors because one of my friends, Amanda, and we wear the same size shoe, so we just swapped one of each color in my tried and true whites. I will use these for everything CrossFit-y really, so every time I'm doing like conditioning or just like Metcons, general lifting, not Olympic lifting, powerlifting type stuff, I'll use these shoes. I've been using them for a few years now, and I had pretty much everything on that you could think of on for CrossFit shoes, and I have stuck with these for the past several years and probably will continue to do so for a while. They're really flat and they've got a hard sole, but they have a little bit more oh my gosh, I cannot speak. They have a little bit more cushioning than like the Nike Metcons do, so I didn't like how flat those were. And then it's got this rubber outsole for rope climbs to not shred it up. So that is my training shoe. Next shoe is my running shoes. These are also from the same company. I used to be on the side of I want to get my running shoes from a running shoe company because they probably have the best design for running specific workouts. But I tend to get pretty bad shin splints, and I wanted to try these ones out. These are pretty much the only shoe I've had that I haven't gotten shin splints in. So I highly recommend, but I like to have, well, it's necessary to have a separate running shoe as opposed to gym shoe. Cause this, I will only run in these for probably like if I have a workout that has 400s in it or something with a lot of other lifting, I might wear my training shoes. But if it's got more than that, like today I did a workout with a lot of running in it and I wore my running shoes just to protect my feet, protect my shins, and then obviously like running specific workouts, I'll wear those. And then my last shoe is my lifters. These are the tier lifters. I used to use the Reebok lifters, but I switched like 2 years ago because I found that the Reebok lifters were a little bit too narrow in the toe. So they weren't comfortable on my feet, and they had a little bit too much of a heel lift, which meant that I was just a little bit too high onto my toes, and it messed up my pull and my squat a little bit. So I swapped to these ones that have a little bit of a lower heel. They've got the wide toe box too, which is really nice. So I'll use these for all of my Olympic lifting. So my snatch and my clean and jerk. I'll also squat in them most of the times. Occasionally I'll squat in my training shoes just to make sure that I'm used to a flat surface versus a lifted surface. But these are primarily for Olympic. Well, they're entirely for Olympic lifting. Okay, next is also for lifting. It's my belt. I'm gonna hit myself in the face. This is a belt from TOTE, obviously. It's nylon, so it's a little bit more flexible, and it's more for Olympic lifting or for use during Metcons, when you need a little bit more maneuverability, being a little bit more dynamic in your movements. It's really reliable. I've probably had this for like 2 years. It's gonna last me a while longer. This is the belt I used to use back in my like more powerlifting days. You can see the difference. They're about the same width, but this one is leather and then suede on the inside. And obviously it's got this huge buckle. So it's just a lot more rigid for powerlifting. But since I do more Olympic weightlifting and CrossFit stuff now, I prefer to use my more flexible belt so that I can move more. I mean, the entire purpose of a belt is essentially a tactile cue for you to brace, to push out against. So this serves that purpose while also letting me move my body a lot more than, like, I can hardly bend down wearing this thing. But it's really nice. It feels very secure. Might add it back to the gym bag for when I do powerlifting stuff. Okay, next is my knee sleeves. They're turned inside out right now. I don't actually ever wear these around my knees. I don't really like the feeling of knee sleeves while squatting or anything like that. They just feel really restrictive and uncomfortable. So I actually use these most around my ankles when I'm doing rope climbs to protect my ankles from getting rope burn or anything like that. So not what they're necessarily for, but that's what I use them for. Then I have my grips. They're frog grips. It was really nice. They came with this little pouch, some wrist wraps that actually probably really need to be washed now that I'm pulling them out, a little microfiber towel to wipe chalk off the bars because these are rubber, so they're designed to be used without chalk, and they give a really nice grip on the bar. I do have my other grips. These are Victory grips, and I use these ones. I have like 8 million. I've accumulated so many. I've got finger hole ones that are a little bit longer, the fingerless ones. And I use these ones with chalk when I can't wipe the bar down. So it's nice to have a few backup pairs because you can see in this one, they will start to tear. These are not completely a substitute for grip strength. They are very helpful when you start getting into high volume kipping gymnastics specifically, to protect your hands, one, and then also to help you stay on the bar a little bit more so you don't tax your grip as much when you're doing a really high intensity workout. I did not realize how much just junk I had at the bottom of my bag, so this is actually really helpful to help me clean it out as I'm doing this. Like, why do I have a keychain? I don't know. Okay, the last piece of equipment that I use and I keep in my gym bag is my jump rope. This is my jump rope, purple, love it. It's from Jump and Rope, probably the cheapest jump rope I've ever owned, but it is the best that I've used for double unders. I struggled with double unders. Struggled is probably an understatement. More like I literally could not do them. I was using this RPM rope, which was good and it lasted me a while, but it's got this little gear here. It started to get a little bit just worn and rusted, and like my rope was breaking. So I needed to get a new one, and I tested out one of my gym friend's ropes. He had the jumping rope, and it was the best double unders I've ever done in my life. So I went ahead and got that one when I needed to replace it, and it has been really phenomenal. So if you're learning double unders, the type of rope definitely matters. And this one is nice because the rope is a little bit heavier, so it gives a little bit more feedback as you're going through the motions. So I can feel the rope turning, I can make the corrections, and it helps me stay a little bit more relaxed and do more reps continuous as a result. I just keep it in a little baggie. Okay, last piece of, I don't know if this counts as equipment, but my headphones, Beats. I like that they go over the ear so they don't fall out, especially when I'm doing like burpees or anything like that, although sometimes they don't charge, which is irritating, but I do always keep these in my bag. Okay, actually last piece of equipment is a chest strap heart rate monitor, primarily for running or heart rate zone training, because I have a Garmin, I love it, but it's not super accurate with actually measuring your heart rate while you're doing high intensity stuff. So I like to have a chest strap so that I can actually track my heart rate real time and manage the effort that I'm supposed to be doing in a workout, so that I can make sure my heart rate is actually where it's supposed to be and I'm sticking to the effort that I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, that's all the stuff that I leave in my gym bag that stays in my car, but I do go straight to the gym from work. So I always bring a little bag of all my stuff that I take home to the gym on a day-to-day basis. So like my change of clothes, this little baggie, this little tote bag. So I actually don't know what's in here right now. Oh, I was using this for swimming. So my goggles are in here and sunscreen, because I'm very pale, obviously, and I was gonna be doing a competition several months ago that had swimming in, so I needed to learn how to swim. I know how to swim, like to not drown, but I'm not very good at technical swimming, so I was going once a week to practice. So I got some goggles off of Amazon. What else do I have in here? Ooh. A brush to put my hair up. Gotta have that. And then I also use this little from Day. It's just like, I have little bangs, so when I pull my hair back, they will come out, and that drives me absolutely insane while I'm working out. So I use this little tube, it's a little brush, to just swipe those down to keep them out of my face while I'm working out. When I'm leaving my home to go back to work after lunch, I will fill up one of these with a half scoop of this and a half scoop of this to, oh my gosh, those are gonna be backwards because this is mirrored. I just realized, because I'm recording on my front camera, so I just realized that all of this is backwards. Okay, well, anyways, we get most of our supplements from BPN. Love them. This is their carb and electrolyte mix, and this is their carb and electrolyte and caffeine mix. But I don't like having a lot of caffeine in the afternoon, and I usually work out around like 4:30 to 5. So I want the carbs and electrolytes and just a little bit of a boost. So that's why I have half of the non-caffeinated version and then half of the caffeinated version, because this has 150 milligrams of caffeine in it, and if I have 150 milligrams of caffeine at 4 p.m. and I try to go to sleep at 8:30, it's not gonna happen. So I do a half scoop of each of these, and then I will have usually a snack pre-workout like 30 minutes before. This is also BPN's, their like pre-workout carb bar, which is really good, but they're also pretty expensive. So these are what we have right now, but I'll also sometimes have like a fig bar or just some other kind of like quick carb snack that's like 2-ish to 300 calories, so that I have a little bit of carb stores as I go into my workout. And then I will usually have a few applesauce pouches in my bag to have mid-workout. Sometimes I'll have one of these before my workout if I just feel like I haven't eaten enough that day, or if I need a little bit of extra energy. And then I'll usually have them in the middle of my workout, because it's 60 calories and 13 grams of carbs. So it's a fast-acting, easily digestible carbs mid-workout for an energy boost, because I'm usually at the gym for anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours at a time, which usually needs a little bit of fuel mid-workout so that I can keep going at a high intensity. So my pre-workout stuff, carbs will last me usually through my lift, because I'll start off with a lifting piece, and then once I'm wrapping up on the lifting, I'll usually have some applesauce before I start prepping for my Metcon, so that 10 minutes 30-ish minutes later, when I'm about to start my conditioning, I have that extra carb and fuel source to be able to push hard during that workout. I also just bring my plain water that I have throughout the whole day. Try to have at least like at a minimum 2 of these, and then I'll have 1 of these and then another 1 of these with my just like normal electrolytes and creatine in it during the day. So that's like 100 ounces of water, which is probably a little bit low, but I'm working on that. That is all of the things that I keep in my gym bag or that I use at the gym on a day-to-day basis. It seems like a lot, which it kind of is, but I don't use all of that every day. And they all have their specific purposes to support the training that I do. If you're interested in any specific piece of equipment, let me know. I can give more detailed information about any of those things. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I hope that this was helpful in some way, seeing the kinds of stuff that I use to support my workouts. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.